Hello YouTube, Simon here, welcome back to the channel. Got some interesting updates regarding the second chapter of the Final Fantasy VII Remakes. This has to do with the story, moving away from gameplay a little bit for the time being. This comes courtesy of a new article posted on the official Square blog. But I do have to warn you, this is very, very spoilery, and I'm saying that as somebody that's a big fan of the original game. I kind of wish I'd stayed away from this a little bit. I didn't know it was going to be so spoilery, but there we go. Right then. Okay, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to a few people, to Peter and to Kieran for becoming the two latest channel members, and to Preet for signing up as the latest patron to the channel. So thank you so much for your support there, and to everybody, of course, who continues to support the channel. Okay, so Chapter 2, which is the immediate aftermath of the bombing mission that we've all played now through the demo, is going to be pretty much broadly the same as the original game. So we're going to be progressing through the streets of Midgar in order to rendezvous with the rest of Avalanche a little bit later on. But how these events unfold is going to be very, very different, and there's going to be one major change. So Cloud is going to be by himself by this point, just like in the original game. He's going to be walking through Midgar. Now, in the original, Cloud bumps into Aerith during these events, and that's where he purchases a flower from her, or can purchase a flower, that's up to the player, of course, for 1 gil. Then after that, he gets arrested, or chased rather, by the soldiers, and he makes his escape on the train. Now, those events broadly are going to all exist here as well. But there are some really, really big changes. The first of which is, as I say, a massive spoiler. So last warning now. Are you ready for this? As Cloud is walking through the streets of Midgar, he turns a corner, and bang, Sephiroth standing there. For the first time in Chapter 2, we are going to be introduced to the villain, to Sephiroth himself, in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And we don't know exactly what Cloud's reaction is going to be to this. We're not told in the article. But what we do know is that Cloud starts to pursue him. And the next objective is to actually follow Sephiroth. He starts to disappear through the alleyways. The player then has to, controlling Cloud, pursue Sephiroth to find out where he's going. Now, it's while pursuing Sephiroth that the player bumps into Aerith. So it's almost as if Sephiroth is leading Cloud to Aerith, like he wants these two to meet, which is really, really interesting. And when Cloud does meet Aerith, this is where events continue to unfold a little bit differently. First of all, you no longer purchase a flower from her. You do get a flower, but she's gifting this to you as a freebie. Why this change, I don't know. But she does decide to give Cloud a flower for free. And it's during this point that we see some of the events that we've seen unfold in the various gameplay trailers of past, where the Watchmen of Fate, that's the black smoke creatures that we've seen, start swirling around Cloud and Aerith. Now, it doesn't seem that after Cloud. And we can know this because it's during this event that the Shinra soldiers catch up, recognise Cloud, and try and arrest him, and he goes off to battle them. And while he's doing that, the Watchmen of Fate actually go after Aerith. They ignore Cloud, and they start swirling around her. Cloud then is pursued through the city by the Shinra soldiers, with Aerith's fate at this point really being left as somewhat of a mystery. And then Cloud jumps onto the train, escapes the soldiers, and you know, that's pretty much where the original game takes things as well. So obviously this is, as I say, broadly what happens in the original, but some of these changes are pretty darn major. And Sephiroth showing up this early, yeah, what do you guys think of that? Of course, in the original Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth's first visual appearance isn't until after the party has left Midgar, and that's during the flashback retelling that Cloud gives over at Calm. That's the very first time you get your first glimpse of Sephiroth. Now, we've known he's going to be in the remake during the Midgar events. We've seen him in various trailers, but even so, this is still very, very early on in the remake. This is Chapter 2, so the game's probably about an hour or so in by this point. And we're getting introduced to the game's major villain. So they've obviously decided to take his characterization in a very, very different path for the remake, which I'm very interested in, you know, seeing unfold as we play through the game. But I would like to hear your thoughts about this. Do you think this is a good way to be introduced to Sephiroth in the remake so early on in the adventure, so the start of Chapter 2, and then bumping into him literally as we're exploring the city, and then having to pursue him which really brings us to meet Aerith as well. Yeah, please do share your thoughts about that down in the comment section below. And for more Final Fantasy VII Remake updates, make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Well, folks, thanks so much for stopping by the video today. Now, perhaps I might be able to persuade you to come and join us over in the Fuzzfinger Gaming Discord channel. It's a great place where we can continue on with the conversation, and I'll leave a link to it down in the video description. Until next time, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.